What's up guys, my name is Vladimir, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another episode of Sundays with Vladimir series where I talk about stuff. I don't know, people listen. 30 to 40% of you listen till the very end, which is... thank you so much. Today I'm going to talk about small part of my life experience, and that is living in a small, tiny, not very tiny, but small town in comparison to cities I lived before. I'm gonna talk about what I like living in a small town in comparison to big cities, what I don't like, and things that I found very interesting and surprised me. I live in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, which is a city in Northern Ontario, and it has a population of 75,000 people. It's right next to the border with the States, and we have, I guess it's called sister city, Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, which is over the river. And I never been to the States because I can't, I need visa. And people usually surprised when I tell them, what, you need visa to go to the States? Yeah, I'm not Canadian. Originally I'm from Ukraine. I grew up in a city, Kharkiv, which has approximately 1.2 million people population. We have subway, never learned how to drive a car. Big city, why do I need that, even though all my friends knew how to drive except for me? And when I was 21 years old, I moved to Toronto, where I lived for 1.5 years. After that, I applied to college. The reason why I came here, I applied to college, to Sault College, for a film program. And I remember vividly that I was so anxious coming here because I opened Google Maps, I saw the map, and here it is. 75,000 people population city. This is nothing. Maybe some of you watching and you're living in even in a smaller city, but you need to understand that I grew up in over 1 million people population city. I moved to Toronto, which is also over 1 million, like Toronto itself, I think 2 million people. So I was so anxious coming here. I thought it's middle of nowhere. And it kinda is. But there are a lot of actually pros to living in a city like this. So I've lived here on and off for almost 4 years at this point. This is crazy. If someone told me 4 years ago that I'll be living for 4 years, let's say, for 4 years in city, 75,000 population, with no subway, with almost no transportation. Transportation here is ugly. It's not ugly, it's terrible. We have 8 routes for a city. My neighborhood in Ukraine had more routes than this city. I was genuinely surprised when I came here because I didn't understand how such a small city, I was so oblivious. I didn't know how such a small city can operate. And I know 75,000 is not that small. There are cities with 500 towns, I guess. Towns or villages with 500 people population, 1,000. Never been there, don't know if I'll ever be there. But for me, 75,000 felt like that. And it's incredible that this city has college. It's not big college, but it's still college, right? And university. College and university. Okay, there are a lot of things that I like about the city, and the most that it's easy, it's small. So if I want to go anywhere, if I have a car, which I bought only last September, and before that, it was kind of hard to go around and travel in a city. But with a car, you basically can go anywhere. There is little traffic, there's almost no traffic. There are lakes here, hikes, woods. You can go anywhere within minutes. When I was growing up in Ukraine, I lived almost on the edge of the city, and my high school, my university was in the center of the city, and my friends lived all over the city. So for me, 1 hour to go somewhere, it was kind of like normal. Here, if a person takes 1 hour to go somewhere, they think that it's so long, it takes so much time. I live kinda in the north of the city, so from downtown it's like 10 minutes drive, 7 minutes drive, 10 minutes drive. And people think that I live very, very far, which sometimes frustrates me, but also cracks me up because it's hilarious. 10 minutes drive, it's so far. Also, I like social aspect a lot. A lot of people know each other, and often people tell me, even if I don't know this person, I know someone who knows this person, and it's actually very, very true. And I just like that it takes, if I want to hang out with my friends, it just takes like 5 minutes to drive somewhere, pick them up and drive back to my home. It's kind of easy. And here also we have a lot of nature, and that was one of the reasons why I came back here, because after I graduated I went to Toronto and I stayed there for, let's say, half a year. And I came back here during the pandemic, no public gatherings almost, and it's very quiet. And whenever you want to go somewhere outside or on a hike or to the beach, it takes just 10 minutes drive, which is incredible. And in the summer, it's so nice to live in a small town. And even though I'm, again, not a social person, I didn't like really going out. I still don't. Especially like getting older. I know some people who watch this, they're much older than me, but I feel like I'm dying already at 27 years old. But now I want to go out less and less and less. Also, another thing that is very specific to me, that in my industry, after I graduated with 4.0 GPA, which means I had straight A's, for those who don't know. And I was pretty much at the top of my class, and I was able to get in the movies that would come here. So after one movie, there went another one, came another one, another one, another one. So that's kind of how it works. And I remember when I came back to Toronto after graduation, I found few jobs in commercials, shooting commercials. And some people with a lot of experience, much more experience than me, never worked in films, even though they wanted to work in films so bad. And it's just harder to get in the industry in Toronto, in big cities, than here. I mean, you can apply it to a lot of things, I guess, to a lot of jobs, to a lot of industries, but that's specific to me, I guess. I don't know if it's all the things that I like about the city, but from the top of my head, because I didn't prepare anything, which is a mistake. I should have. Things that I don't like. Oh my god. And I think there are more things that I don't like about the city that I do like. Even though some of the things that I like are very, very important or massive. I don't know. But things that I don't like about the city. There is just not a lot of variety of things you can do. Even if I want to go out somewhere, let's take a big city. You can go to any restaurant every week and discover something new every week, even every day, probably for a year, I think, yeah. But here, no. But again, I'm not a guy to go out and do stuff, but the only thing that I would kill to get in Sault Ste. Marie is IMAX theater. For those who don't know, I'm a very big fan of movies, and I went to film school, I just told you. But I love going to IMAX theater because I just love the experience. It's incredible, and I miss it so much. During this time, I mean, I could get just a theater, but IMAX is incredible. And I remember once I went, like, for one day to Toronto for something. Yeah, I went to see a doctor. Remember that. I'm gonna talk about that. And I went to a theater just to watch a movie in IMAX. And I was there for one day. And I went to a theater. I think it was Avengers Infinity War I watched. So the second thing is, there are not a lot of doctors. Sometimes I need to go to Toronto for some health related things, and some doctors that are here, it takes forever to book an appointment. Forever. Even in Toronto it's bad sometimes, right? But here it could take months. I remember I needed to go to dermatologist because I had pretty bad acne, and I wanted to book an appointment here, and I think she said like 7 or 8 months from that point. 7 or 8 months. Who books an appointment 7 or 8 health related appointment? What the fuck? This is incredible. That was incredible. So I had to go to Toronto. Another thing, transportation. Transportation is horrible. Horrible. 8 routes. 8 routes of buses. This is so bad. Luckily, when I was studying in college, I had a friend who would drive me around. Then I had friends who would drive me around. And I was always that drive me around Andy. But since I bought a car, now it's incredible. No buses. I don't care. I have a car and it's a small city. But even when I didn't have a car, I had a bike. So sometimes it would take some time to go somewhere, or it would be hard, but for the most part it was fine. It was fine. Again, specifically to me, I want to mention that sometimes it's very, very hard to find a job. Even though I just told you that it was easier for me to start working in film, but films are also a very freelancing job, which I don't like. It's harder to find a full-time job, I think. Not in a grocery store. In a grocery store, it's kind of easy. I worked in a grocery store for 2 years and it was kind of easy. It's just not a lot of jobs. So it's kind of hard. And for those who don't know, but Vlad, you have a YouTube channel. Yeah, but I don't get money from YouTube channel, or just a little bit. Like this video probably gonna get 400 views, which is fine. Which is fine with me. And 40% of you will watch till the end. Probably 40% of you watching this point right now. Again, for those people who like going to concerts, for those people who like, I don't know, some big stuff, going out. Nah, no, small city is not. But for those people who like just gathering with their friends, going to the nature, beaches, hikes, just cottages, this is great. This is incredible. That's why a lot of people have like home in a city and then they have cottages, right? And here you kind of live like that always. Even though winters here are bad, but even in winter, like you still can gather with people and it's pretty easy. Even after work, if I'm tired after 8 hours, let's say I work 9 to 5, right? 5, I'm off and it takes me like 5-10 minutes drive to somewhere, to my friend, see a friend for 1 hour, I'm home at 6, let's say. Incredible. In a big city, it doesn't work like that. Really. And you know, guys, there are probably a lot more things that I haven't talked about, but this video already quite long. If you want me to talk about anything else, my experience in Canada, any experience, I would talk about my experience living in Toronto, because that's the first city I lived in, but there are so many things I can't probably talk about. So, anyway, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching the video and see you next time. Пока-пока.